Not a single school outside of Texas offered Patrick Mahomes a scholarship when he was a senior in high school. Not cool, isn't it? Another possibility is that neither of Texas's major universities wanted to sign the Super Bowl victor. Despite the quarterback's current dominance in the NFL, nearly every outstanding college coach and recruiting staff, including Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney, failed to see his potential. In spite of the fact that both Texas and Texas A&M should, in theory, control the Texas recruiting market, they are really hitting it even harder. In the video, we'll delve into Patrick Mahomes' complete lack of interest in his high school recruiting experience and uncover the rationale behind all of this. It seems absurd that Mahomes didn't garner more notice while he was a high school student. He threw for 4,600 yards and just 4 picks in his last season, finishing 50 of 67 attempts. On top of that, he ran for 15 touchdowns. You are now witnessing a quarterback that is capable of converting both passing and passing attempts, has explosive playmaking talents, and makes sound decisions. His selection as Texas's AP Football Player of the Year was justified, as was acknowledged by the press. White House High School captured the district title during his tenure as head coach. The school wasn't some random little institution either, because they had sent a number of players to famous colleges in recent years. In Josh Allen's story, the protagonist comes from a little rural school that wasn't known for its serious football, but this isn't quite like that. Worse yet, Mahomes wasn't exactly a nobody. His father, Pat, pitched in Major League Baseball for 11 years, so it's easy to assume that he would be holding on to recruitment opportunities like a pawn shop holds onto coins. Or maybe I've just been so caught up in Pawn Stars lately that I've been sleeping off my bad thoughts. It is my duty to at least say what a phenomenal baseball player Mahomes was. In high school, he may have even loved it more than any other sport. He cemented his standing as a top baseball prospect with a nearly 500-hit season, extensive fielding experience, and a no-hitter under his belt. Also, his basketball talents were so impressive that he could have easily made it to the Division I level if it hadn't been his third sport. It seems to reason that everyone would wager on a potential run to the Super Bowl or World Series with all this potential, skill, and agility. First-rate Cliff Kingsbury, according to his Texas Tech recruiter, he is just scratching the surface of his quarterback ability. He participated in many sports during the year, but his best work came on the football field. Kingsbury was obviously correct. So why did only Rice and Houston show any interest in him? Now that we can look back, maybe we can figure out why the houses that are here weren't considered. When he was a junior in high school, he talked to his mom about his plans to stop playing football. Her son's mother warned him, "You're gonna regret it if you quit." Even without starting at quarterback in high school, he was already at a disadvantage in that stage of his life. On the subject of drawbacks, it is worth noting that Mahomes had already registered for the MLB draft. Perhaps his lack of enthusiasm for football stems from his father's time while playing in Major League Baseball. Curiously, the Redskins had a quarterback who had verbally committed to them at the same time that Mahomes had committed to Texas Tech. How things transpired is intriguing. If Mahomes hadn't transferred to Baylor, he would have seemingly won the quarterback competition. But five-star recruits usually get a pass, so it's hard to tell. Finally, the topic of Mahomes' hiring may be discussed. It could be difficult to identify a single cause because many hopefuls participate in more than one sport. LaTroy Hawkins, who is godfather to Mahomes, is a former Major League Baseball pitcher with an opinion. This is because, as stated by Bleacher Report, Mahomes was unable to attend off-season showcases or consult with a throwing instructor. Recruiting staffs will have to settle for quarterbacks who can't commit enough time to their craft if they don't see a name for themselves by the end of their sophomore year. Even though Mahomes had a breakout year as a junior and senior, schools had already set their sights on other prospects before he was picked. They didn't appear to be losing out on much potential at the moment. Mahomes appeared more like a second baseman than a quarterback due to his faulty mechanics. Those supposedly bad qualities of Mahomes' athleticism have become his greatest assets in the present day. He has maintained a high level of performance in every professional game he has played while encountering the same obstacles since high school. It seems like he's still playing high school defenses with how quickly he adjusts to different levels of play and how consistently high his volume and production are. The draft and the recruitment process as a whole have been completely transformed by Mahomes. If you look closely enough at a player like Jordan Love, you'll see an athletic, undeveloped talent with the potential to make plays despite a lack of knowledge about the ins and outs of the game. The next great quarterback has always been offered a scholarship by a prestigious college or university. To be more specific, no university ever wants to pass up an impressive quarterback. From an outsider's vantage point, can you fathom what Mahomes could have accomplished with a college football team that was in the playoff hunt? I know Texas Tech loves him, and they should. Under those circumstances, he is likely to finish first overall. And no NFL club wants to be sad looking back on the draft because they passed on Patrick Mahomes in favor of Mitch Trubisky. To put that to sleep, you'll need more than simply Pawn Stars. When it came to the review process, this was a major gap. It's interesting to think about the two quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl this year. They're both going to be legendary in their respective eras and will undoubtedly go down in history as two of the best quarterbacks of all time. When you think about it now, people doubted them for a long time. They went unnoticed by most people, but now we can state that they were wrong. Although it may not appear so now because Mahomes hails from a long line of professional athletes, he was once considered an underdog, and the fact that his potential for greatness was overlooked.